So you ready?
Yeah.
So today we are going to install a set of packaged bees. We got 2 of them in the mail, and right now I'm lighting the smoker because this calms the bees down. Over thousands and thousands and thousands of years, the bees have learned to interpret smoke as a threat because the smoke always meant fire, obviously, and so the trees would burn around them and then they would lose their hives. So when the bees smell smoke, it tends to calm them down. So we're going to give them just a little bit of smoke in moderation. They don't like it. They do get agitated, but it doesn't kill them as long as it's just a little bit. And they have a biological response mechanism that triggers eating. So whenever they smell smoke, they're like, our house is burning, this may be our last chance for a good meal, and they tend to go around eating all the honey they could find. These bees were doused with a little bit of sugar water just before we came outside. The sugar water is actually not sugar, it's a couple teaspoons of honey and water that is something that gives them something to eat. The bees have been in the mail for several days, so they're tired, they're hungry, and they're thirsty. So giving them a little bit of honey water alleviates those problems, and the smoke calms them down, and everybody's happier. So as soon as the smoker gets a little bit more smoky, we're going to keep it going here. We'll begin, but I want the smoker to be nice and ready in case we have to give them another little shot to calm them down. This is how the bees travel. You can see there's a postal label right here on the top of their cart. So inside this square box there's about 3,000 bees, and they're mailed just like this. Along with the 3,000 bees, there's a very, very lucky queen. The queen travels in her own little compartment somewhere inside that cluster of bees. Not sure where she's at, but we'll find her once we put the bees in their new home. You may not be able to see it right now, but on the inside of the hive here, there's a metal can, and that metal can contains food and a warming agent that keeps the bees happy while they're in transit. So what we'll do is we're going to gently lift off this little lid here, and then we're going to pull the metal container out, which leaves a big hole in the top of the box. I'm going to take the box and turn it over into the hive here, and I'm going to dump the bees straight into their new home. So we're going to take out a few frames so the bees have room here to land in the new hive and get started. So I'm going to dump the bees over into here and shake them out, and it seems a little unfriendly, but it doesn't hurt the bees. They sort of fall together, it's pretty gentle, and then after they're all in there, we'll put the top piece on and then put the lid back on, and they'll go to work making their new home. So I think we've got enough fire here. Let's check and make sure this thing is still going, and let's see what we got here. Make sure that we've got an ample supply of smoke to keep everybody calm and happy. So right now the bees should be gorging on the sugar water that I put in there earlier. So let's get everybody calmed down here. Make sure everybody smells the smoke. And I'm going to sit this over here so that it just gently wafts around the hive and keeps everybody busy eating honey like they should be. This is called a hive tool. So it's what I'm going to use to pull off the top here, which may seem a little violent at times because they put some pretty heavy duty staplers in at the bee farm, and it's a little tough sometimes to get these off, but with practice and care, it can be done pretty fair short order. So one more staple here that doesn't want to cooperate. There he is. So we've got that loose. Let's just calm the bees a little bit more before everybody leaves the hive. Now comes the fun part. These guys have been in here for several days. They're hungry, they're tired, and all they really want is to go to their new hive. So here you see we have a strap that holds their can in, and the can is a little bit warm and it has food inside that keeps the bees comfortable while they're in transit. Let's see if we can get the staple out without breaking the box. Even with a hive tool, sometimes the staples are in there so tightly. There you go. Come on out of there. So the staple's gone. We'll put the hive tool down because we don't really need them. We're gonna let the bees smell the smoke. Okay, everybody calm because this is the big moment that everybody's been waiting for. We're going to take this can out. Just do this up here at the hive so everybody can see. May need the hive tool to do that. See if we can work it out of here. The bees will actually cement this in as they're coming along in transit, so they're anxious to get out of here. They're already trying to sneak out on us, so we want to make this efficient and quick. So when the can comes out, I'll work immediately on shaking the bees out of the box. So the bees are actually out of the box, obviously. We're going to lean the box up here at the bottom so the rest of them will come out overnight and make it inside their new home. This piece here is no longer needed, so we'll take it out, set it up here at the top. Here we go. We just did. So we'll stick them over like that, and we'll back up, give the bees a little bit of room. I'm going to put a lid on their hive here so they know that it's time to go home. Okay, so we tried not to destroy any bees. The queen is in their hive, and we're going to stick a lid on there so they get busy making their new home. Now they have enough time before dark sets on to work with their queen and get their new hive set. You'll notice there's quite a few bees still left around the front of the hive, but they can smell their queen. Their queen is inside the hive right now.
Tip your can so the bees can get out.
Yeah, that's true. We probably got a couple here who need to escape. We'll let them out of there. Be kind to them. But all these bees have been traveling with that queen for several days, and they know what she smells like, and they're not going to leave her. They can smell her from a mile away, and the bees have a hole on their hive there, so they're going to find their way out of that, and they'll come right up there and go home with the other bees to their new home. So what we'll do, we'll stand this guy on the side here just to give them a little bit more of a hint when they crawl out of the hive. They'll smell their queen inside that hive there, and they'll be like, okay, there's mom, we got to go get her, and they'll go crawl inside the hive. So that's the first of 2 hives that came in the mail this time, and they're all good. So what we'll do is we'll stop this video, and then we'll install the second package of bees, which goes in that hive back there, and that's all.